Hello, everyone. This is Father Peter Julia, and this is the Engaged by the Spirit podcast. I'm here to tell you why we're doing this podcast in the first place, and also maybe a little bit of the origins of it. It took us a little while to get this whole entire set built up and get going, but the whole idea, I guess, behind it was for years, I felt a little called to do it for whatever reason. Archbishop Sample is always talking to us about evangelizing. And I realized I was taking in so much information via podcasts. That became kind of my main source of news for a lot of different things. I found different people that I liked and then a network of people that they were talking about. And I was like, this is kind of incredible. And there were a couple of things that I always felt sort of adept at doing. All day long, I sit and I talk to people either in spiritual direction or discerners who are discerning the priesthood, since I'm the Vocations director for the Archdiocese of Portland. So I'm usually hearing people's story. And I never thought that I would live in like 5 different states and go across the country. And every time I meet somebody, it's usually not just one individual. It's usually a community that I'm introduced to. Recently, I had the opportunity to speak at young Catholic professionals for their Lenten retreat. So all of a sudden, it was like, here's a few hundred young Catholic professionals in front of me, and they were all introduced to me to that day. And then from there, always carries on a bunch of other new friendships. And then when I joined the military, to be in the Air Force family at the Air National Guard here in Portland, that was a whole gigantic other group of people. And not only the people I work with at the base, but all the people that I was at officer training school with. It was like 150 of my new best friends, so to speak. And every time I go to a parish or fill in at a parish, then I get to meet another community of people. And over time and hearing people's stories, I just heard so many incredible stories, miracles in people's lives, their conversions, their family, how they became Catholic, all of these different things. And so I felt like I became this sort of well collecting tons and tons of people's stories. And I was like, man, that's an incredible story. And I found that I would be preaching a homily and I would be retelling something incredible that happened, a story that was related to me or something that I got to witness in people's life. And so it kind of got to the point where you feel like you can't bottle it up, that you want to actually tell people about these different stories. And so I was here at Mater Dei for their share-a-thon. And so there's, Sarah, how many are there? 2 a year? Yeah, so 2 share-a-thons a year. So Sarah's our producer, and so she could remind me of things if I forget. And incredibly, there was so much chemistry in the room when we were doing that share-a-thon. It was my first time doing it. I had been on Mater Dei my first year in seminary. So that was my first exposure to the radio station itself. But the share-a-thon was kind of something special. We had so much fun that day, and it was an odd day. I'm usually there. You're usually there for an hour, but there was no slot after me, and then apparently no slot after that. So instead of being there an hour, I was there for 3 hours. And I don't know. And I brought it up to a couple of the people that I had pondered doing a podcast before. But anybody who knows me knows that I have kind of a million hobbies already. And so I can do the talking and the knowing of people. Those are the 2 things that I do well enough. But I have no idea how to edit stuff or video things. But I thought to myself, if we're going to do this, we need to do a video platform and an audio platform. And so we just realized, okay, we're going to be on YouTube. We're going to be on all of the normal major podcast platforms. So whether you're listening to it in your car just off of Apple Podcasts, or you have the opportunity to be at home and you're cooking or something and you want to actually put it on YouTube on your TV or your computer, I just thought it's so incredible to have the opportunity to sit across from somebody else and for you to be able to watch that conversation, because you really see the emotion that people have. And already we've gotten the chance to record a few different podcasts with different folks. And yeah, it's just because you laugh and, sometimes you cry. If it's me, I'll definitely cry for anybody who knows me. But so the genesis of it is, I guess we talked about it at Mater Dei at a share-a-thon. And then we talked about it for probably a year, because I would come back and record a couple of prayers for vocations or different things like that. And then it just we realized it's a lot of work, and that was the hard part about it. And so it never would have happened if it wasn't for some really generous donors who were willing, because all of a sudden you need, we need cameras. We need multiple cameras. We need lighting. We need a set. Like, who's going to build the set? And so there were some super, super generous people. We mentioned it on another share-a-thon. And then there were people that came to me. They said, Father Peter, if you need something for the podcast, you let us know. And so I started actually speaking with those people and asking, hey, I think we're ready to do this. And it's taken a while. There's truly friends and former parishioners of mine who helped me build the set. And I just told them, here's my crazy idea. Can you build this? And then I was able to speak with one of the podcasts is one of my seminarians, Andy Sanchez, who actually does a ton of graphic art, and he's really, really talented. And so he did our main logo for me that I've used for a whole bunch of stuff of my own. And I built this table right here. This is actually the first time we're even using it. So a couple friends of mine actually helped me even bring it in today. And so there I am in my garage, masking off and painting things. I don't really do that, but I was like, well, I'll do it for the podcast. So everything was kind of just a team effort. And I think that that's really what a lot of Catholic media has always been. It's never been because there was a ton of money at play. It's always been out of the generosity of people giving of their talent and their treasure as well. I remember one of the things that was probably the last piece for me was last year I read Mother Angelica's book. Of course, for those who know, Mother Angelica started EWTN. And she was the last person that really had any business doing that. She had no experience in media or anything like that. But she had sort of this philosophy. She said, just start. And if God doesn't want it, it'll all fall apart, which is a great thing. And I think so many people want everything to be perfect. But we just kind of started. Even our first recordings, I think there's even a podcast we'll probably release where the set is not even finished. And I'm actually in my military uniform because I was at the base that day and we were just doing it for testing. But it was such an incredible conversation. And in the end, that's what it's all about. It's about the conversation, how when the Holy Spirit engages in somebody's life, it completely changes the trajectory of their life. And there's just no going back. And that's really what it's all about. It's talking to people about how when the Lord intervened, when the Holy Spirit engaged, they were just never the same before. And we know that that's exactly what happened to Mary and the apostles at Pentecost. And that's what happens to everybody who is confirmed in the Catholic Church or any intervention of the Holy Spirit. So that's kind of what brought us here. And it seemed like it took forever. Sarah, I can tell you, it felt so slow. But now to actually walk into this studio and see a set and actually sit here and be able to talk to people and see it really happening, that's kind of incredible to me. So it might look like it just happened overnight, but I tell you, it was actually a bunch of years in the making and a bunch of people that made it. So I'm really thankful that we get to offer that. So it'll be materdeiradio.com. You'll be able to go there, and so you'll be able to watch the show on YouTube, and then you'll be able to listen to the audio on all the major audio platforms as well. So everyone, make sure you follow us. You can go to Instagram and Facebook for anything Mater Dei Radio, and you'll see us pop up, and then that'll let you know when the next episode is going to drop. And when our first episode comes out, I was really happy that I was able to speak with our shepherd of the Archdiocese of Portland, Archbishop Sample. So he'll be our first episode, and that'll be coming at you pretty soon. And so we're thankful to be able to offer the show to you, and I hope that you like it as much as I like talking to the guests that we'll have. God bless you all.